You know, Patrick, I never aspired to be a made man. You know, I was on a different path in life, but I was 17 years old when my dad drew a 50-year prison sentence and went off to serve his federal time. And I sat with my dad. I visited him in the federal jail before they shipped him off to the penitentiary. And he said to me, "Michael, I'm innocent. I didn't commit this crime." He was alleged to have masterminded a nationwide string of bank robberies. He said, "I never knew the witnesses. I'm not a bank robber. The witnesses were all drug addicts, junkies, and one thing I knew, my dad hated anything to do with drugs. My whole life he preached against drugs. He would make up stories about drug addicts to scare me never to take drugs. So I knew he would never bother with people like this, so I believed him. And when he went away, Joe Colombo, the boss of our family, who we were close with, he kind of took me under his wing because my dad was his underboss. And I started to meet a lot more of my dad's friends, you know, and they were influencing me. "Mike, you know, what are you doing going to school?" I was a pre-med student at that time. Shortly after that. "You know, if you don't help your father out, he's going to die in prison." So I went to see him in Leavenworth, and I said, "Dad, I'm not going to school. You're going to die in here if I don't help you." He didn't want that. I mean, he kind of argued, "No, I want you to go to school, get an education." I said, "Dad, it's too late. My mind is made up." And he said to me, he said, "If you're going to be on the street, then I want you on the street the right way." In his mind, the right way was to become a member of his life. And he proposed me at that point for membership into the life. And you know the interesting thing, Pat? My father, even at that point, never told me what the life was about. Because, you know, you're not supposed to talk about that life with anybody outside of it. And he wouldn't violate that policy, even with me, his own son. My dad's a good soldier. He just said, "Go home, somebody will be in touch with you, do whatever you're told." It was kind of on-the-job training. And 2 weeks later, I sat with the boss, and you know, he ran things down for me and told me what to expect. And for the next year and a half, I was kind of a recruit, where I kind of learned the life, how to do anything I was told to do to prove myself worthy. And then Halloween night, 1975, is when I was formally inducted into that life.
You remember it vividly?
Vividly, yeah.
And what was that process like? Was there a ritual? Was there an experience you had to go through?
Very, very solemn ceremony, very serious. 6 of us walked into a room individually towards midnight that night. It was a very secure setting, obviously. I walked into a room, the boss was seated at the head of like a horseshoe configuration, the underboss and the consigliere to his left and right, and all of our capo regimes, or captains, were alongside of them. And I walked down the aisle, stood in front of the boss. I held out my hand. He took a knife right here, cut my finger. Some blood dropped on the floor. This is a blood oath. I cupped my hands. He took a picture of a saint, Catholic altar card, put it in my hands and lit it aflame. It didn't hurt. It burned quickly. It was just symbolic. And he said, "Tonight, Michael Franzese, you are born again into a new life, into La Cosa Nostra, this thing of ours. Violate what you know about this life, betray your brothers, and you will die and burn in hell like the saint is burning in your hands. Do you accept?" "Yes, I do." And that's it. That's the ritual. It's
Wow.
short and sweet, but extremely serious.